going? What's that? Where's the glare coming from?
Big dental companies don't want you to know about this new toothbrush
Oh,
design.
shut up about
It was created by a
toothbrushes.
well-known
I haven't got enough teeth to worry about it. Let me
and
just...
dentist.
Oh,
And it took
hush,
him
I said. Oh, okay, that's better. How's it going, everybody? I'm kind of taking the day off. Not taking the day off, but kind of. I remember I was supposed to take all this time off between now and Monday, right? But yesterday I sat and I did the binding, like I sewed all the binding together for the quilt, and now I think I might just go sit down. I'm going to meet the candidates tonight, and I'm really not sure if I should, because not all the candidates are going to be there, and I've already made up my mind um, to go. Well, I've already made up my mind on who I'm voting for anyway, right? Hey, let me say hi. Let me say hello, hello. Betty Randall, EJM, Jean Phillips, Lee Cheryl Schism, Paula Under Pressure Bowie, Tigger Bouncin', Marnie Ann, Jean Phillips, Village Stetter. How's everybody doing today? Let me just pop my chat out here and bring it on over here and then turn it on to live chat. What's everybody doing? Hi, Sandra and Carol and Nina Strope. Oh, right. I meant to share these. Hang on a second. I meant to do that, to share this through Messenger for some people, because not everybody gets in here. Okay, wait a second. 2 seconds, guys. All right. In Messenger. 2. Where are you, Malka? Anyway. Okay, restore chat. So how's everybody doing today? Hey, Sue Marie and Catherine Morrissey, Mary Jane Wins. How are you, darling? Joe Mama, Stephen, you're baking today. I should too. Happy Friday. It's still going to be a really busy Friday for me. I was just saying, I have not decided whether or not I'm actually going to go to the meet and greet tonight. I was going to go because I've got to go out and pick up Briar anyway. And then I thought about it. And I thought, do I actually want to be in a crowded, like I do, I go, I go to the grocery store and stuff. And I did make a stink about it being, vax only. But I mean, if my stink made things clearer, that's great. But do I really just want to go to the meet and greet when I've already chosen the candidates I'm voting for? You know what I mean? Got the dishwasher going with canning jars to can up all the chicken from the freezer. Oh my God, I got those 30 pounds of potatoes. But what I did do is I've made the big black crock of stew, because I pulled one of those 1 pound packages of stew meat that I got from the local farm store. And I bought, when I bought them, they were frozen. So I have to use them when I thaw them. So I thought, well, I'm going to make a huge crock of stew. Right. So I put in like 6 potatoes and a pound of carrots and my last 2 onions and a whole quart of vegetable broth. And then I browned all that meat up in flour and stuff and threw it in. So I'm hoping that, well, Howie and Briar might eat the whole pot. I don't know. But I'm hoping that I have enough stew left over that I can make it into another meal just for you guys. So we'll see. How are you doing, Steve? Cold and rainy today, so also windy. Perfect day to bake pies. Well, somebody texted me today and said, you know, if we can't, can we make donations? Because we're talking about the trunk or treating. The firehouse is handing out candy. I mean, it's all starting to be a much more. I'm excited, okay? I'm sure everybody else gets excited that live in the neighborhoods where they trick or treat, but I haven't been able to give out candy in a long time. So I'm like, hey, right? I'm really excited. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear sweet Nina. Happy birthday to you. Mwah. So, happy birthday, honey. So I'm getting all excited. So somebody texted me through Messenger today saying, if we want to donate candy, like they don't want to park or they don't live in the neighborhood and they don't want to do, can they donate candy to us or the firehouse? I said, sure. I said, you can either drop it off at my house because I live right on Fieldville, within a kilometer of the school, or you can drop it off late Sunday afternoon when I'm getting ready to hand out candy, and I will gladly hand out candy because I'm concerned I only have a 10-pound bag of candy, right? So maybe 12 pounds, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Hey, Malka, good. You got it all, sweetheart. Well, you know what to do. Drink lots of clear fluids, and that doesn't necessarily mean beer, although beer wouldn't hurt. But lots of clear fluids, clear tea, ginger ale, tons and tons and tons of water. Water, 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 water. You want to flush whatever is in you out. Hey, Skippy! You're welcome, Nina. Hey, Joe Mama! I gotta roll. I don't mean I'm leaving. I mean I gotta roll. And I've left my other roller downstairs because I thought, why am I taking things back and forth? Do you know when you used to buy these rollers, they used to give you an extra sleeve in them? Like you buy the little one and they give you an extra sleeve. But you buy the big one, they don't give you an extra sleeve. So I'm not sure I'm going to go to the meet and greet tonight. But I should. I should pop in before I go pick up Briar. Anyway, hey, Ahmad, how are you? Happy Friday. So I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for decorating, but I have asked Howie if he can look around work. He's a body man, okay, guys? You know what that means? That means they're painting cars. They're masking them with paper. They're unmasking them with paper. Parts come in bubble wrap. You know what I mean? So I said to Howie, please, because I don't want to go out and rake leaves. Okay, so I said, please bring home any bubble wrap, masking paper, white wrap paper, anything like that that's going to go in the garbage. Bring it home from work so I can, anything enough to fill one of them garbage bags, the orange garbage bag. So, plan to cook beef. You know what? I should put some barley in there. I'm going to. Thank you for making me think of it. I have barley. So I'm going to throw some barley in that stew as well. Ooh, it's going to be so good. Did you see my $1.27 pot of soup? I'm not kidding, because I didn't count the chicken broth. Why didn't I count the chicken broth? Because it was the skeleton, just like the skeleton of the chicken that I had cooked one day, And then we had chicken Caesar salads, and then Howie had chicken salad sandwiches for lunch. So the carcass, what was left of that picked over chicken, just went into it. It didn't owe me a nickel. So that's why it was $0. Hey, Becky, how are you, darling? Faisy, plan to cook beef barley soup tomorrow. I'm not good at cooking. Well, just know that you brown your meat. Okay? Brown your meat. If you want it thicker, like stew, dredge your meat in flour, salt, and pepper, and then brown it in butter. But make sure that butter's almost burning when you throw that in. Then brown that up. Or if you don't want the flour, you don't want it thickened, just brown your meat up in a skillet before you put it in your pot or crock pot or whatever, because it's the browning that gives it a lot of good flavor. Oh, it was really good. It was chicken vegetable soup. So last night I made Howie, I made a hamburger gravy over mashed potatoes and green beans, because the poor bugger's been eating a lot of soups and salads. And so, but tonight's stew. So remind me before I leave. Checked around. I will use olive oil. Okay. Your soup looked amazing, Bev, and the homemade noodles was a bonus. Well, see, I don't always just make a whole bunch of noodles. I don't get all my paraphernalia, which I'm going to do soon, unless I'm making a large quantity of noodles, drying them and putting them on the shelf. Right? If I'm just making enough noodles for supper, I just go, in they go. Howie don't care. He doesn't care if they're thick or wide or not uniform. He can, I don't like I used to think store-bought egg noodles were supreme noodles. Okay. You could, I remember when I worked at the bakery and it was ski season and I wanted to offer soup, a bowl of soup and people's choice of sliced baguette or sliced bread, a slice of bread or a biscuit or whatever. And the manager said, well, how are you going to do that? I said, I'll make homemade noodles. Oh, it'd take you too long. I said, you want to see? I said, I can make noodles for enough egg noodles for soup in under 15 minutes. She said, do it. And I went, and my friend Andrew just went, click, click, you're on. And I did. And she said, and I made the noodles. And I said, oh, because she wanted me to use pasta. Oh, we got all these boxes of pasta. I said, you don't put pasta in soup. It gets mushy, goes, you use egg noodles. They hold their shape, right? So, I mean, I've been doing that for years. But I am going to grind my dehydrated kale, and I'm going to make kale noodles, enough for the winter. Probably a couple of half-gallon jars, because once they're dry, they're shelf stable, right? Oh, Ginger, hi, darling. Avonlea Ann, how are you, darling? You showed me to make wonderful pasta. Hubby is in heaven for it now. Well, there you go. Hi, Lori, how are you, darling? How are you? Happy, not actually in heaven. Yeah, of course. But good girl for using your words correctly. Good job. Hey, hey, Hell House Paranormal. How's it going? Oh, yeah, I got to roll this. So, I'm still on the fence whether I'm going to go out to the thing tonight, but I might just go, and see. But I'm committed to sitting there until at least 10 to 9, right? So we'll see. How are you, darling? Angie! Hey, baby. Lady J. Sherry Leach. It comes in a box about the size of rice-a-roni. What's that, Joe? What's that, Joe? What are we talking about? Okay, what are we talking about, Joe? Hey, Whitney, how are you, darling? Chaos. So That's what I'm doing. But first I've got to get my potatoes done. I've already used 5 of the potatoes in one of the 10-pound bags that Howie brought home to make this big pot of uh, barley. Yeah, I like barley. I love barley and beef. So thank you for the idea, Malka. I was asking about where to find barley in the store. You find it around where they sell rice and dry beans and stuff, where they sell the split peas and all that stuff. I don't use it often because I forget I have it. But a quarter cup of barley in a beef stew about an hour before you're ready to serve it. Oh, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. But don't ever give it to my brother Bob. My sister-in-law Kathy, when I was pregnant with Arthur, I lived with Bob and Kathy in Toronto, and I I actually babysat for them because Bob was going to school and Kathy was a teacher at another school. And I was looking after Bronwyn. And so I'd get everybody out. I was a typical person. I would just make everybody breakfast. I would get everybody out the door. Then I would vacuum, do the dishes. And then Bronwyn and I would go watch cartoons and have a nap. And and then in the after our nap, we'd get up and we'd do our business and we'd maybe go for a walk or whatever. But my brother Bob would usually be home about 3 o'clock. So I would start dinner and Kathy didn't get home until later. So one day I made beef barley stew. And Kathy forbade me to ever make beef barley anything in her home and feed it to her husband ever again. Because apparently she was gagging with the gas all night that he was, emitting. you know? Yeah, you add barley the same as you would rice. I just, I always just buy pearl barley and throw a handful in or whatever, right? Barley helped ma feed 7 kids and 2 adults on a pot of overwatered soup. There you go. There you go. So, yeah, so soon I'm going to make a whole bunch of noodles. It's almost bread baking season for me because now the garden's in. I've got to can the potatoes. I am going to get another 50-pound bag of carrots. Briar won't be at work yet. I am going to get another 50-pound bag of carrots. And so next week is canning potatoes, dehydrating potatoes, and canning carrots. Bev, I'm smoking Critical Purple. What are you smoking? Well, Skippy, my Purple Kush, or the first batch of Purple Kush, was dry enough for me to grind a nug with some blueberries. So I'm smoking blueberry and Purple Kush. I love Purple Kush, and I can smoke right up until 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then I shut her down because I really don't get overly medicated. It just allows me to function without too much pain. You know what I mean? Yes, it's coming, Kel. How are you, darling? Let me just tamp this all down here. And we didn't get as much as we hoped we would this year. So there will be no gifts to my eldest son. There will be no sharing at all of my medication. Mind you, I still have over a half gallon. I still have like two or 3 quarts left of my blueberries. So I think I'm going to be okay. And Howie got the gelato and the AK-47 mixed up. So that's going to be its own combination, probably for daytime. But the gelato is not dry yet. And the gelato and the AK-47 is not. Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Oh, could that lass be high? Excuse me. Um, yeah. Well, I mean, they have those names too. The names, what the names represent is the genetics of what where the strain came from, right? Like Purple Kush is one of the older strains of high indica. I made 5 batches of gummies. That's a lot, but I give them away to friends. Well, I can't afford to give any away this year. Retrograde's been on almost every planet recently. Been interesting. Just bought my first drill and multi-tool to do my boat. So, did your drill work? Because my computer has been just, it's still grumbling. It's still making computer noises. Because I turned it on and a half an hour later it still wasn't loaded up, right? And I do clean my computer and disk and defrag and all that stuff. Chicken veg soup, any soup helps stretch. Well, see, that's the big deal, right? Like, you remember in The Long Winter in Little House on the Prairie, there was this was actually a true happening, because it's recorded in history, where they had 7 months of blizzards and they almost died if Almanzo Wilder and his buddy hadn't gone on a wild goose chase looking for wheat from a homesteader in the middle of a blizzard, right? But just before they started living on nothing but a loaf of bread a day, okay, when they got that wheat, one of the store owners butchered his oxen and sold it all down to the meat and grizzle for 25 cents a pound. And I'm telling you, Charles had brought 4 pounds. I'm sorry, I would have bought more. And Ma pot roasted it. She seared it all over and pot roasted it. And she said, I can make it last for 4 days. I'm sorry, 4 pounds of meat? I would have made the biggest pot of friggin' soup. And I would have just kept every day. I would have just added a handful of wheat, ground wheat, or whatever I had. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't have just made it last 4 days. That 4 pounds of meat would have lasted a month. Why? 'Cause soup. You know what I mean? Hey, Raph, how's it going, sweetheart? Yeah, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. So, I mean, and then, there was that point where Laura said, she said, oh, I wish we had something other than brown bread. But mind you, what saved their life was the fact that it wasn't refined flour. It really was wheat that they were grinding constantly in a little coffee grinder to make sourdough bread on a daily basis. The sourdough whole wheat bread was what saved their lives. But what really upset me the most was that they had a cow, a heifer cow, and a heifer calf in the barn. Now, I'm sorry, but one of them would have went when we got down to eating wheat every day. One of those would have went. It's called stretching the dollar. Soup times 1 month. Yeah. Hey, Cal, next week delivery of tools, and I'm getting a camping freezer to freeze forage fruits and like. Stone soup story brings to mind. Crack. See, that's kind of what I was doing yesterday. Like when I made the not yesterday, but today's video, the insanely cheap, insanely healthy soup. I used 2 carrots, the last 2 squishy potatoes, and a half an onion, and the broth from a chicken skeleton. But when I went out into the garden, I found a small turnip, and I didn't know fresh turnip was real, like rutabaga is really good in soup. I found a small turnip, 2 leaves of spinach, 2 leaves of young kale that were growing up from the center, 3 green beans. I found a garlic and an onion all in my garden. So I put on top of the potatoes, the carrots, and the half a onion in the chicken broth. I added, oh, and a couple of skinny stalks of celery with the leaves. So on top of the potatoes, the onion, and the chicken broth, and the carrot, I added shredded kale, spinach, celery, turnip, onion, garlic, and green beans. I may have only had 3 green beans, but I tell you, even 3 green beans, 1 leaf of kale, one turnip that's not much big, was about this big and was about that big, not much bigger than a half a carrot. You know what I mean? All those things turned that soup into something else. And what most people don't know, I love that video because it was perfect veg and homemade noodles. And it is easy, Malka. It really is easy. Crock pots has a woman's best friend crock pot is your best friend in the wintertime. Did you not see the video? It was so good. And because the noodles were homemade and heavy, Howie was like totally satisfied. It does all add up. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some, now do not quote me on this, but I'm going to give you some starvation tips. Okay? If ever, okay, let's remind me in a second. Gracie's going to want in a minute. I kept saying to Howard while he was trimming the purple kush, he still got some to trim. I kept saying to him, why am I getting excited for Christmas? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, not presents and all that stuff, but I'm feeling Christmas. I can almost smell the tree. And Howie started laughing. He said, Bev, it's the pot. And I went, that's right. It smells like Christmas when he's trimming purple kush. It has a very piney, resinous smell. Okay. It was delicious. It really was. I will give, you know what? I'm going to go let her in. I'll be right back because, well, she's actually sitting in the sun. So I'm going to let her do it. Like as long as it's a beautiful day. It's 10 degrees Celsius out, which is about 45, 50 degrees. And Gracie is laying in the sun and I allow her to stay outside on her lead on sunny days as long as she'll do it because she loves to lay in the sun. And everybody knows what vitamins, we get from the sun. I have Christmas lights on the mantle already. Careful with the amount of emoji you use, Malka. You might get booted. Hi, Shalimar. Well, I crock-potted a $9 rack of ribs last night and made scallop potatoes and coleslaw for about $12. I fed 3 people. That's great. She is recharging her battery. You're going to have a boy. Are you pregnant? That's awesome. Congratulations. Hey, Karen. It's been a long time since I've been able to join you guys. Busy. I hear you. Lacey Black. I know I haven't got a turn. And to me this year, it's not going to be, we're going to have a more old-fashioned Christmas. Yeah, there's going to be store-bought presents under the tree. But the truth is, this year, Christmas is not going to be about presents. It's going to be about fellowship and bringing in the greens and thanking God for everything we have and thanking God for giving us Christ to teach us how to love. You know what I mean? All these things are really, really important to me, right? I've been loving your new videos. Well, thank you, Karen. Oh, thank you. It's a Loverly fan. I've been loving all your new videos. Well, thank you. Becky, it's about the presents and family and friends, not presents. Well, that's right, but it may end up being just Howie and I this year. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really hoping I can get Nan up here a couple of weeks before Christmas and keep her, and Howie will sleep downstairs, and Nan will have, his bed, right? Oh, your daughter. Oh, that's wonderful. That's okay, Becky. I read Chattanese. So I got 4 pork loins from work and 6 bags of corn kernels. And next week I'll be canning corn and pork. Good job, Rosie. Well, I'm going to either sit down and work on the quilt or sit down and start peeling potatoes. But I'm going to peel enough potatoes so that I can blanch them and get them on the dehydrator because I want to at least get that much done. I just feel it. I just feel the need because I also want to get a bag. See, hunting season, the rifle hunting season starts this weekend. And I want to make sure that because once hunting season's over, the carrots really don't. The company that lays out all the big 50-pound bags of carrots at all the local stores takes them back, right, and then sells them to pig farms or whatever. I don't know what they do with them, but I want to make sure I get another 50-pound bag. And they're gone. Wait a minute. They're gone. Daughters have left. Okay, what did I just miss? I love your Christmas ideas for this year. Yeah, it's going to be simple. I'm actually thinking of doing, we're doing the Christmas card exchange. So if you are a member of the Connected Respectful Hearts Facebook page, please go and look at the announcement on the board that says we're doing a Christmas card exchange because everybody's going to get their names soon. I've drawn the line for November 1st, but I will probably, do a reminder for another week, and then it's the cutoff point, and everybody gets their names for the Christmas card exchange. But I'm thinking of doing one with patrons too, because not all of my patrons are Facebook friends, right? What skill? I got my sock looms. Oh, I'm laughing so hard trying to work it. I'm new at knitting and this is hard. Well, I just may sit down and knit some warm socks. But, nobody wears them in my family except me, right? But I might make a pair for Mel because where do I check and how does it work? Where do you check for what, Malka? I don't. Hi, Sherry. No, we don't need. Tonight is wings and more coleslaw from the never-ending cabbage from hell. Yeah, I don't necessarily want recipes. If you want to exchange recipes with folks, you can. You can add recipes if you want. But literally, I haven't had a chance. I got to get another glue stick from the dollar store. But I still have all these recipes to paste into this book. And then I was hoping this year, but next year I'm hoping to be able to have a Connected Hearts recipe book on for sale. For every, and because everybody, so if you do send me recipes in a Christmas card and they end up in that book, know that by sending me the recipes, you're consenting for me to use it. But I will put your name in the byline of where the recipe came from. Where do I check it? How does it work? Well, are you not part of the Connected Hearts Facebook page, Malka? Go over the Connected Hearts Facebook page, look in the announcements. And it is an announcement that tells you, and what you do is you just message me, Malka. You message me on Facebook Messenger saying, please include me in the Christmas card exchange. Now, understand that when you want to be a part of the Christmas card, and it doesn't have to be Christmas cards, it can be just greeting cards to say hello if you don't celebrate Christmas. Doesn't mean you can't take part, right? But you message me and say, please include me in the Facebook or in the Connected Hearts Christmas card exchange. But know that that comes with the responsibility that you're going to be given 5 names that you have to commit to sending out a Christmas card or greeting card to those 5 people. So when I put you on the list, and when I'm done the list, I'm going to message you, and I'm going to say, here are your 5 names. Please contact them through Messenger and ask them for their addresses. And by telling them, I need your address, I got your name in the Christmas card exchange. Okay? And it doesn't hurt to, if you get someone get you a message, I need your address, I got you in the exchange. It doesn't hurt to verify back with that person, making sure that they are actually in the, you don't want to be giving your address out to people that you don't know, right? Unless they are who they say they are. You will be my card exchange, Bev. I am not on Facebook. Well, email me your address, right? So that's, we did that last year, and I made a Christmas tree on the wall out of Christmas cards. I'm going to do that again this year, or maybe I'll make something else. But by the time I had the Christmas tree built out of Christmas cards on the wall, I had to put 2 ribbons up as well with garlands. So you are going to get anywhere between 5 and 9 Christmas cards in the exchange, but you do have to commit to sending out at least 5. Okay. And some of those are American addresses too. Spreading yourself too thin, focus on crafts and one at a time. Bev, you inspired me to make a tree on the side of my front porch with garland and lights. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, Malka. I'm just letting you know, because I know not everybody, I was really lucky. I could, the last time we went to Costco, I made them get me 100 stamps. And so and I have my Christmas cards. I'm getting really excited. I wasn't saying you wouldn't honor it. I'm just saying it would be really nothing worse than sending out 5 Christmas cards and nobody sending cards back. And it's not the person you're sending the cards to isn't sending. I'm not sure how that works. Anyway, it all works out. People get lots of Christmas cards. And that's one way that we can connect. And like I said, if you are Jewish or you don't believe in Christmas or you don't celebrate or anything like that, then when someone says, please, can I have your address? I got your name in the card exchange. All you have to do is say, I don't celebrate Christmas. So could you send me like a generic card, or just a card that says, hi, have a nice day, or, happy Hanukkah, or whatever. I mean, you can tailor make it. It doesn't have to be Christmas cards just because it's this time of year, right? Well, that's what we did last year. Everybody who sent a card sent a recipe. It didn't have to be it just had to be one of your favorite recipes. Didn't necessarily have to be an heirloom recipe. It could have been something you found online that you did and you really liked, right? So everybody, for the 5 cards I sent out recipe cards with the snowball cookies on them. That's my go-to recipe for Christmas, right? What are buttermints? Oh, are those like those little mint patty, like after dinner mints that but melt in your mouth? Yes, absolutely. Hi, Calico Cali Chaos. How's it going? I got some cut cute sheets of snowman stickers that I'm sending out with my cards. Oh, wonderful. We're exchanging. I get it. Only hope I can navigate these digital waters. Oh, honey, it's easy. You know how to talk to me in Facebook Messenger. So when you get your names, you open up your Facebook Messenger and you go into the search bar and you put that person's name, and their name will come up as another member, or their name will come up and you message them and say, "Can I have your address? I got your name in the draw." Hey, Chaos. I just messaged you for me and Omi. Okay. They are usually pink, green, yellow, and white little pillows. Oh, this. I'd love that. I would love that recipe. As a matter of fact, is there any wheat in them? That's what I want to know, because is it something I could make for Arthur? Is there anything for this year? I don't cook much. No, you don't have to add a recipe if you don't want to. The whole point of the exchange is just to reach out and touch somebody that we talk to every day. But it's a little physical. This is what. Beginning in the 1800s, the sending of Christmas cards has long been a loved tradition. These vintage greetings from Hallmark archives, blah, 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 blah. The countless greetings that have been sent over the years. I got these vintage reproduction Hallmark cards. But the truth is, since the 1800s, it became, since the Victorian era, okay, it became a bit of a fad to mail people a little Christmas greeting when you couldn't get together over the holidays, right? People that were far away. Now we travel everywhere and nobody bothers with Christmas cards most of the time anymore. But I mail them out every year. To me, it's my way of saying, I love you. I'm thinking of you. You know, I hope you're warm and well and safe and surrounded by love. You know what I mean? It just takes time to let them dry. Oh, no, wait. Oh, yes. Email me that recipe before Christmas. If you want to send it in a Christmas card, if you want to send it to me in a Christmas card to put in the book, great. But email me one, because that sounds like a wonderful little Christmas gift that I could make. Because Arthur's funny, when it comes to. So you do the pink ones are peppermint, the white ones are regular mint, the green ones are spearmint, right? I think I will send you my buttermint recipe to make a video. Okay, absolutely. How long does it take to dry, and should I put them on the dehydrator? My grandson loves the no-bake chocolate cookies with coconut put in a cello baggie as a tag on reindeer poop. Oh, you mean the coconut macaroons? I'm not huge on coconut, but I might make some for Arthur. Like, I'm always thinking, and it doesn't mean I'm always thinking of Arthur, but I mean, Briar usually gets his pumpkin spice roll, although this year I may do something a little bit different, a little more festive looking. Same principle, different idea. Briar always can have cake or pie or his pumpkin spice roll cake. Arthur, no baking, right? I can make him peanut butter. I can make him the peanut butter, sugar, brown sugar egg cookies. I can make them those. I can make them mince, and I can make, you know what? That's a really good idea. I'm going to do a gluten-free goodie thing this year. So that's going to be cool. Thank you for the idea. Aces! Oh man, I'm so late. I was making muffins and got distracted. Oh my God, I made butter. No, I didn't make butter. I clarified my 2 pounds of butter, and then all the trim that Howie had trimmed and dried on a big cookie sheet, I decarbed. and I ground and decarbed. And then it was a lot of matter, but 2 pounds, it only gave me a pound and a half back. So and the butter is so green, and it's so strong. 1 teaspoon knocks me on my butt. So, but when I squished all the butter out with the coffee, the coffee press, I have like a cup and a half of the wheat, the herb, plus a half a pound of butter in there. So I'm going to be baking shortly. $22 for 6 gluten-free butter tarts. My daughter has celiac. Oh, well, there you go. Hi, Tigger Bouncin'. Love the history lesson. Getting excited. I'll get back to you if I have issues. Okay, Malka. Boo! Hey, how's it going? I'm going to turn the heater on because my feet are cold. And I don't have any slippers on. There we go. Just for a little bit. So, really? So, you used herb butter in wedding cake? That sounds dangerous, man. Bev, aren't you cold in sleeveless? I'm always cold, fibro. No, I've got my own insulation, honey. And this room is actually quite warm. I wear this because I will, if I start like, I'm gonna start peeling potatoes and stuff, getting ready for dehydrating potatoes. So I'm like, I'll start sweating just walking across the house. So I may be cold, but I'm not cold, cold. It's only my feet that are cold. No, I'm not cold at all. Excuse me. The whole point of Christmas cards is a inexpensive, and they're not inexpensive anymore because if you figure cards and the stamp alone in Canada, it's like, well, I paid more for those cards than I normally would have. I would have normally gotten them at Costco, but Howie said they had none in September, and I bought them in August last year. So I got these off of Amazon, and I paid more than I should have, but then I got what I wanted, didn't I? Right? I got the kind of cards that I want to send. Like Melka, if I get your name, you'll probably get the one with all the dogs on it. Why? Because you have too many cats. Do you make sourdough bread? I do. Sometimes I actually might get some sourdough started. I'll cheat and use yeast, but I might get some sourdough started soon in a crock just because it's a good thing to have going, right? Yeah. I just can't imagine that. Can't imagine what. The only thing that really gets cold on me is my feet. And you got to remember, it's not cold here right now. It's really not. It's like 10 degrees. If this was spring, I'd be dressed like this again, right? You know it's cold when I'm wearing pants all the way to my ankles, like not down to my ankles, but I mean long pants, socks, slippers, and long sleeves. Then the house is cold. But I mean, Howie comes home from work and goes, God, it's cold in here. And he'll start a fire. That's how I know it's cold. Seriously. I'm so happy that I can do a lot of things again because last year was really, really bad. I couldn't even do my baking or the turkeys, but this year it's going to be different again. Oh, I'm happy, honey. I mean, this year, I don't know what's changed. Uh, it's me, I guess. I guess it's me that I was always trying to recapture the excitement. And I have to admit, I turned my kids off of Christmas. That's how hardcore of a Christmas junkie I was. However, over the years, I realized I wasn't giving them the excitement. I was overwhelming excitement. So I toned things way back, but I still did all the Christmas things. And for some reason this year, my brain is more on, I picture, hearing the fire crackling and all the lights are off except the tree and Howie and I watching a movie. You know what I mean? Or watching, on Christmas Eve, watching, Gordon Ramsay make dinner or something, at Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? That's how I see my holiday. I don't know if anyone's going to be here. I'm hoping Nan will be here. And baking and I'm going to use the Christmas cards I got last year to make paper chains for the tree downstairs. You know what I mean? I'm going to have a tree in here. So I mean, I'm focusing more on the celebration of it rather than making sure everybody's going to have socks and friggin' underwear. Okay? Other than that, if you get a gift from me, it's pretty much either going to be homemade, a gift card, or just, hanging out. I'm in a basement. It's 21 Celsius, and I'm still in turtleneck and hoodie and not warm. Ooh. Will you be showing how to make your sourdough starter? I've got a video on it somewhere. But yeah, I'll do that. It's really easy. You can actually, but because it's cold right now, live natural yeast isn't necessarily in the air, so it would take a really long time to start. So I just do, you know, half a gallon of water, a cup of flour, a teaspoon of yeast, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of sugar. Shake it up, stir it up, and then just cover it with a cloth and set it on the counter to sour. I did that too, Bev. I was trying to give her the excitement I had when I was a kid. Didn't occur that she is not me. Exactly. Since bariatric sleeve surgery, I'm always cold even when it's 90 out. Well, see, my thermostat, my body thermostat's completely gone haywire since the fibromyalgia. Well, no, all my life. All my life. Because my mother would say, "Beverly, get some slippers on your feet. These floors are like ice," and I wouldn't even feel it. But I'd get into bed with her, like I'd crawl into bed with mom if dad was watching the news, and I'd go and I'd put my feet on my mother's legs. Here's a memory for you. And she would jump. "Oh my God, child, your feet are like ice." Right? Because my mom was, all squishy and soft and warm like me. I mean, I remember when I brought Gracie home, and Howie and I were still sharing a bed back then, and she kept going under the blankets down to the top of the crack of my ass. Now, this is in April, and this little hot dog, this tiny little puppy, was like a ball of molten lava against the top of my bum crack. And I kept saying to Howie, "Get her off my butt," because I couldn't reach her. She just kept scooting down around my bum, but she was like a little furnace. So now, when Gracie sleeps with me, which she does in the morning, she goes to Howie at night and me in the morning when I go back to bed. I have either one blanket and a sheet or two blankets and a sheet. Either way, she does not sleep against my skin, but she has to be under covers in the cold weather, even in the warm weather. If the fan's on, it bothers her ears. So I always, when it's rest, like, "Okay, come on, you've had your snack, come on," and I'll lift the top blanket up, and she'll crawl down between the two blankets, and she'll snuggle up against my bum. And it's been like that since she came home with us. I do that to my hubby. He's always like a furnace, and my feet are always cold. Well, that's one of the reasons why Howie and I started out. We were sleeping in separate blankets within our first 6 months of living together, because he's a furnace. He is a furnace, and he is a messy sleeper. I was one of those people, and I am still, who can get out of bed like this, pull the blanket back, get out of bed, and go, "Foof," and my bed is made. Right? And I always was like that until Howie. And even though it was, when did we meet? June. It was June. He would roll up in the blankets, and I would wake up naked and cold because I always have to have something on, even in the hottest weather. I have to have like a sheet over me, right? Or it would be chilly, and he would drape himself over my body in his sleep like a human blanket. And he was so hot. Yeah, he was hot, but I mean, he was hot, you know? So I ended up making us separate quilts. And I dispensed with the top sheet altogether, and I just washed the quilts every week. But the thing is now we sleep in separate beds. I've got a top sheet and I can tuck it in, and my bed is easy to make. His just looks like a tornado's hit it every single morning. I usually, yes. If I get, it seems like my life now with my Sully Bear, he likes to make you shout in surprise. Yeah, Howie's a literal furnace. It's hard for me to sleep without a blanket, even if it's 100 outside. Yeah, I have to have a sheet over me at least. But as long as I can stick my feet out, and when it's hot, but it's not hot enough that you don't want a blanket, I will lay my feet, my fan is on my dresser at my feet, and I will lay on my side, and I will have the whole front of me snuggled up, but the whole back of me naked to the fan until I cool down enough that I can flip a sheet over me. And then if I cool down more, I flip one of the blankets over me. And it goes in layers. I layer myself. Hi, Kathy. Krause, Autumn Gypsy. I held my 3-month-old granddaughter at the wedding reception because I was cold. She's a furnace. Well, there you go. I usually end up with one side of my body out of the covers. Exactly. That's what I mean. No, Autumn Gypsy, it is a pain in the tush. Ha ha. I get bloated at times, and now I have to regulate my body temperature. As long as my butt is covered, I'm good. There's things you can try, like no soda, like soda, no straws. I'm not sure I understand that statement. Not sure I understand that at all. But for patrons, Freaky Friday is again going to be at 9:30 because Briar and I have come to an agreement. So I pick him up every Friday night, Saturday night, Friday night and Saturday night. So you guys will just have to, and I'm probably going to go to the political thing first. And that'll be that. As long as my butt is covered, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes when it's really hot, I'll throw a sheet or even a towel down between my legs because my thighs are so fleshy that they sweat. So I will throw a leg down one or a towel down one leg and just lay the other one just to keep them separated for a while in the heat. Dad was in military, always had to make his bed, and when he was older, told me best thing was to get in bed like he got out, not made. Yeah, you just slide in, right? But I don't tuck the sides. I only tuck the feet. Yeah, Freaky Friday's on Cooking with Cannabis, but it's for patrons only. I couldn't do it public anymore. I got too much crap, too many reports. People would come on and be idiots, and they would report me, and then the stream would get shut down. And no, it's not worth it anymore. It's for patrons only. Sometimes the video gets blocked by YouTube afterwards, but while it's live, it's live. And those that show up, are patrons. So, yeah, it's on Cooking with Cannabis. It's just, but I don't release those videos. They're unlisted. If they even aren't blocked. Like I play music and then they'll say you've copywritten, but some copywritten music, they'll say, no, this is blocked because you played that. Right. And then nobody gets to watch a replay, not even the patrons, but sometimes they'll let them replay. The copyright issues won't be that big of a deal. So anyway, I got to get ready. I have to go and start peeling and cutting and blanching potatoes for the dehydrator. And then I'm going to have to get changed. And well, and then I'm going to work on the stew, and then I'm going to have to change. Oh, I got to do dishes too. I haven't done anything with the green screen yet. My studio, you're going to see it in stages. You are going to see Saturday night, tomorrow night, you're going to see my star wall and my cloud bank that I have built downstairs. And it's taken me a while to get it done. And then on Monday, Life with the Wolfies folks are going to get a video on actually how I did it. You're going to see how I did it. Now, while I did it, I was live streaming, so the video is not great quality, and you're not necessarily you're going to hear music because while I was doing it, I had copyrighted music on, so I had to overwrite that with acceptable music and all that stuff, and it's all sped up. But you're going to see how I built the clouds and the star wall on Monday, but it gets revealed on Saturday first. And then I'm going to get my makeup. Howie's going to help me hopefully tomorrow get my makeup and everything, table and everything set up. And then tomorrow, patrons are going to see, or I'm going to have a live stream for patrons only, getting ready for the, once my makeup and wig and everything is in place, then I'm going to say bye-bye to the patrons, and then I'm going to go public live doing cards and wands and like divining rods and all that fun stuff. Awesome. Thank you, Skippy. My husband and I put up our outside Christmas lights today, not going to wait until it's freezing. Well, that's what we used to do. We used to put them up like as soon as the Halloween decorations came down, because we'd put up Halloween. I would make, pumpkin lights and all kinds of stuff when we lived in the city, because we only lived in the city for a couple of years. And so I really went to town on the decorations outside. But as soon as the Halloween decorations came down, the Christmas ones went up, but they weren't lit up until after Remembrance Day on November 11th, out of respect. So I have outdoor Christmas lights. I use them when I go swimming in the summer. They're up all year round, but I think I'm going to put up my big bong lights this year. My big bong lights, my big Christmas bulb lights, I mean. I discovered a YouTube channel that is crackling fire, so helpful with me to fall asleep, which is a chore. Well, I will be re-releasing the Falling Snow with Christmas music, but I don't like to do it until after November 11th. Right? I know some people in the US go, it's not even Thanksgiving yet, but some people like to have it on while they're getting ready for Thanksgiving. So, yeah, I get it too. All right, folks. Now is the time. Now it's time to say au revoir. It's time for us to shut down. And let's do a little push of spiritual nourishment to the world. Remember, folks, Halloween on Sunday. Out here, it's going to be hunting season. It's hunting season, too. Remember, there are little children on the roads. They're not always dressed with reflective gear. So please, folks, be careful, be kind, and be polite. And if a child grabs more candy than is their due, maybe they don't get candy at all ever at home because they can't afford to. So be kind, be patient, be tolerant, and help the kids be kids this weekend. Okay? For all those who care to, please help me close with a push of light from us and from God out to the world. Okay? Okay, just, you know what? Avon Leanne, just be really, really specific. I am very detail-oriented, okay? You know what? I should go and get some bags. I doubt the dollar store has any left. I should phone them. Or maybe I'll just use baggies. Anyway, for all those who care to, take a nice deep breath. And for those who didn't want to stay, take care. God bless. There's no judgment whatsoever. This is for all the folks that are vibing with me. That's all on this level. Okay? If you get kids this weekend, count yourself as blessed. We get none here. Well, that's why I don't get kids here. That's why I'm trunk or treating at the school parking lot on the main street so that, I can hand out candy. I'm excited. I'm going to decorate my truck somehow. Okay, deep breath. Oh, great Spirit, God of gods, source of all. How's it going? How's it going, God? Thank you for bringing my friends here today. Thank you for, I don't know what I've done to deserve it, God, but thank you for the joy that's going through my life right now. Despite all the stuff, I don't know, maybe our pushes of light are working, but I have joy in my life. And I'm reaching out to find the joy in my life and to grab the joy in my life. So thank you for that, God. It's a testament to, everything we've been doing is working, right? But God, we know there are people out there that are having a hard time finding their joy, finding their light. Some people are ill. Some people are separated by family and by miles. Some people have family members that are ill and they can't get to. Some people are alone, afraid, neglected, rejected, addicted. All these people, God, not all of these people deserve to be in this state of oppression. So, God, we lift these people up to you so that the light of your love can pour down over them and allow them to see the beam and the umbrella of light that you are going to give us to share. As we link hearts and we link hands, God, we ask that you fuel us with your light. Let it shoot and fill down into our bodies and down into the ground from our feet and all the way back up to you like an umbilical cord. And it shoots out our hands. And we sway with the impact, and the light builds and builds and builds until we are no longer a circle of people, but a circle of light amplifying God's love. And when we can no longer contain it, we push that light out. And it creates an umbrella of divine light so bright that those who need it see it and come for shelter and rest from the wearying world. And soon they find their light, and they too will stand up and hold this light aloft. But the best part about holding this light aloft is those that don't want to be in the light will be pushed back by it. So, everything works out the way it's supposed to, but thank you, God, for allowing us to be a part of your love and spreading the light and love and harmony, because I'm feeling it, God, I really am. So thank you for that. And God, look after everybody, all those people that I love and I care about that I cannot physically reach out and touch. Please love on them extra, God, but love on the extra on the ones who need it the most. Thank you. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Go forth in light. Peace be with you. Mary meet, Mary part. Blessed be miigwech. Whatever your salutation is, as long as you say it in love, we're heard. Until we meet again, like tomorrow night, when I'm sitting with all my oracle cards and stuff. We'll see you then. All right? Until then, stay to the light. Take care. God bless.